Dear all, let me welcome you to the GovTech Startup Pitch Day organized by the GovTech Connect project. I'm Giovanna Galasso, partner at Intellera Consulting, the leader of the consortium implementing the GovTech Connect project on behalf of the European Commission DG Connect, together with our partner Public, Politecnico di Milano and Lisbon Council. The project aims at mobilizing the GovTech innovation ecosystem in Europe, bringing together startups, SMEs, public and private GovTech institutions, investors, civil society, interested all in developing and implementing innovative and previously untested technology in the public sector. As part of the project activities, GovTech Connect foresees the launch of 4 European bootcamps to best prepare the GovTech startups for collaboration with the public sector, as well as to co-create and redesign solutions according to the citizen needs. We know that that startup has plenty of very interesting solutions, but it's very difficult for them to partner with the public sector. So this is an opportunity, a support from the European Commission to facilitate it. 2 bootcamps have been already implemented so far. One addressed to startups in Northern Europe and Southern Europe, and all these startups are all here with us today. The main aim of this workshop that has been organized with, together with the AI for Gov Master is to provide an opportunity for the startup to pitch their innovative solution to a panel of experts, government representatives and investors across Europe. Also to not only to look for potential investors, but most of all, also to get valuable feedback from the final users, who are the civil servants from several public sector organizations in Europe. It is thus evident the relevance of the synergy established between the GovTech Connect and the AI for GovMaster. Why? Because the GovTech Connect represents the supply side. The GovTech Connect involves the startups that develop innovative GovTech solutions. The AI for GovMaster represents the demand side, because most of the participants of the master who are here are civil servants that could be in the position to procure solutions from them. Another extremely interesting aspect is that both cohorts, the GovTech Connect and the AI for GovMaster, they come from all over across Europe and beyond. So this cross-border aspect is very, very relevant and interesting. I would really like to warmly thank you, the AI for Gov coordinator Claudio Fejo and Gianluca Misurata, the director of the AI for Gov Master, as they both have strongly supported the synergies among the 2 projects, and of course the Universidad Politecnica di Madrid for hosting the events. Let me introduce the agenda of the day. First of all, there will be a presentation by Mrs. Gudrun Stock, which is Deputy Head of Unity Government and Trusted European Commission DG Connect, that will introduce the European Commission European policy landscape for GovTech, as well as all the numerous initiatives that have been implemented to support the involvement of startups in the GovTech arena. My colleague Sara Mancini will provide an overview of the GovTech Connect project, and then there will be 2 very interesting pitching sessions. The first one involving the Northern Europe cohort, and the second one, the Southern Europe, focused on digitizing public services. These 2 pitch will be managed by Sofia Carbadillo from Public. We will have a network lunch foreseen at 1:30, and then we will have the winner announcement and the closing remark, and we aim to close the event at 3:30 p.m. Now I leave the floor to Mrs. Stock for her presentation. Gudrun, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad that this 2-way audio channel could now be established. I could hear you very well, but I was trying hard, and I'm glad it's working now, and that I still have the opportunity to welcome you. So good morning, everybody. I've been introduced before. I'll repeat it quickly. My name is Gudrun Stock. I'm the Deputy Head of Unit at DG Connect in the e-Government and Trust Unit, which is the unit that, with the help of the European Parliament, has provided the funding for this exciting project, the GovTech Connect platform. And as you've just heard already very elaborately and elegantly from the previous speaker, is that one of the initiatives of this project is to run boot camps as an opportunity for GovTech startups to receive training on innovative business models and fundraising strategies, and on working with governments, citizens, experts to develop and scale their solutions. And today's pitch day concludes the first two GovTech boot camps that have been organized in this project. And they were really designed to empower innovators with the skills that they need to deploy their solutions also in the public sector. So with this in mind, it is my great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the European Commission to this GovTech Connect Pitch Day, which should offer a great opportunity to connect with digital startups intent on transforming the public sector and accelerating the green transition in Europe. So I see you've already pulled up the slide on the policy landscape. So before I set out the current EU policy landscape for GovTech, let me briefly recap what we mean by that. So in a nutshell, GovTech is a term used for technological innovation in the field of public administration, with the ultimate goal to enable governments to provide better services to citizens and businesses alike. And as you, today's audience, will very well know, frequent actors in this GovTech market are startups, and scalability and open source capabilities of their solutions are really desirable traits. So for GovTech, there are currently two major legs of the policy landscape in the EU. On the one hand, we have the Digital Decade Policy Program, and on the other hand, the Interoperable Europe Act. Now, first on the Digital Decade Policy Program, to provide for coherence and steady progress in terms of the digital transformation across the EU, the co-legislators adopted this program. It's called the Digital Decade Policy Program Path to 2030, as an overarching policy framework to ensure that all aspects of technology and innovation work for people. So this ties in with the equality mandate of this Commission. The Digital Decade Policy Program sets a policy agenda, and it also establishes a cooperation, reporting, and monitoring mechanism to give member state stakeholders and the EU institutions a framework to work together effectively towards the common goals and targets for the digital transformation. For the public sector, the specific targets that need to be achieved by 2030 relate to the fact that all key public services should be online to allow citizens and businesses to more easily interact with public administrations. For e-health, 100% of citizens should have access to their medical records online by 2030. And for digital identity, 100% of citizens should have access to digital ID that is privacy enhancing and secure and recognized across the Union, also by 2030. So in addition to this policy program, the EU institutions signed a joint declaration of rights and principles for the digital transformation that promotes a human-centric vision for the digital transformation. And it also should serve as a global benchmark for stakeholders. So not only for all stakeholders in the EU, in the digital ecosystem, but hopefully also worldwide. So the other leg of the policy framework is the Interoperable Europe Act. So as enabling digital government systems to work together brings cost and efficiency gains and improves transparency, accountability, and access, interoperability is a crucial component of the digital transformation of public administrations. And for this reason, the European Commission has proposed the new Interoperable Europe Act. And the aim is to create a network of sovereign but interconnected digital public administrations. And this act further provides for an Interoperable Europe Board to enable the development of a common strategic agenda. It also provides for mandatory interoperability assessments to allow an evaluation of the impact of changes in IT systems that could occur for cross-border interoperability in the EU. It's also about setting up an interoperable Europe portal, which should provide a community platform and a one-stop shop for interoperability solutions across Europe, and thus foster reuse. And finally, it's about the development of innovation and support measures to promote the adoption of interoperability solutions. So a nice package, all-round package for fostering interoperability in the public sector within Europe. Next slide, please. So, but beyond fostering the further digitalization and interoperability of public services, GovTech solutions should address citizens' needs first and foremost. So I'm really glad to be able to say that human centricity has for some time now been a key element of the most relevant innovation policies promoted by the Union, of which you can see a timeline on the lower half of this slide. So starting from 2017 with the European Interoperability Framework, including several joint declarations by member states, to the Declaration of Digital Rights and Principles that I mentioned, and including the AI Act and also the Digital Decade policy program setting targets. So next slide. Basically from setting the policy scene, let's now move to a number of concrete initiatives that have been implemented or proposed in this context, first by the European Commission and then also by the Joint Research Center. So GovTech is one solution to enable public sectors across Europe to be digitized, interoperable, and human-centric. And to accelerate and support this transition, the European Commission has developed a number of initiatives to stimulate the GovTech ecosystem. And these include, for instance, the creation of a GovTech incubator with the aim to foster cross-border experimentation and innovation. And by doing so, this incubator aims to accelerate the adoption of cutting-edge technologies in the public sector whilst ensuring seamless collaboration among diverse stakeholders. And then also, of course, the GovTech Connect platform, which is why you're all gathered here today, which is a project that serves as a dynamic collaborative hub that should foster interaction among different GovTech stakeholders. And by promoting the exchange of ideas, best practices, research results, and other relevant GovTech-related information, this platform facilitates the growth of the GovTech market. And I hope that today's initiative, this pitch day, will be a milestone or a pillar in this endeavor. So then there is also a comprehensive set of research studies that has been produced through the Joint Research Center that should also contribute to setting the GovTech scene by identifying opportunities and pinpointing needs and outlining potential directions for the future. So let's zoom in a bit more detail on these studies on the next slide, please. So the JRC has recently launched a study to investigate GovTech practices, focusing on public procurement of cross-border interoperable public services. And the main objective of this study is to identify concrete enabling and hindering factors in public procurement that would need to be addressed to support and promote cross-border multi-level GovTech practices to roll out in Europe. So the outputs from this study will be shaped into a conceptual framework outlining key influencing factors, their impact on actors, meaning procurers, procured, and target users, and policy implications, as well as common requirements supporting GovTech practices in the European public procurement diversified landscape. So the results from this study will also highlight the preconditions, potential solutions, and recommendations for GovTech actors to support the enabling conditions and mitigate the hindering factors. When addressing this cross-border interoperability and reusability requirements and pave the way for a successful take-up and scaling of innovative digital solutions. And all this in compliance with the Interoperability Act and the EU regulations. This will all be rolled into a GovTech handbook that will offer the insights into understanding the impact of GovTech. It will also provide guidance on how developing cross-border interoperable solutions and strategies for deploying such solutions within complex cross-border and multi-level governance systems. So a piece of work to really look forward to for actors who want to be active in the GovTech market. And it will be available for distribution to the relevant communities from mid-2024. So to conclude, I cannot prevent myself from giving you a quick update on the EU Digital Identity Regulation that revises the eIDAS regulation, which is the regulation that my unit is in charge of. So we are really happy to say that the technical negotiations are expected to conclude with a handshake trilogue in the first half of November, most likely on the 8th of November. And the day of after publication, a new version of the architecture and reference framework for the wallet, the code for the reference implementation, a website and a communication campaign will be launched. So lots of new information for people who are interested in digital identity that can also boost the digitalization, of course, of the public sector. And the wallets are expected to become available in 2026. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you for the opportunity. Apologies for the little hiccup with the audio. And now I would really like to wish you a successful day of networking, of listening to pitches and going home with a lot of new lessons learned. Thank you very much.
So the project is, Giovanna already introduced it and you already probably know about it, but aims at bringing together all the stakeholders that build the community of GovTech in Europe. So how are we doing it? We are putting together stakeholders like you, like the ones that we joined today from the master, like the ones that are connected, the public sector organizations, startups, innovators, angels, and some digital innovation hubs and so on, to create not only the view and the vision for the GovTech in Europe, as you did this morning to help us with the foresight study, but also managing together a platform, building together the community on Join Up, where you and us are sharing content and are sharing knowledge about this topic. We are, of course, engaging with startups. With them, we are carrying out the bootcamps, and we are also working with them in developing a methodology for citizen engagement that they are also trying to put in practice together with Politecnico di Milano. And we are also creating this occasion and events to work together, and meet each other and share information. So what do we do? We started in December, actually January this year, and in these 10 months we managed to already achieve some results. So we carried out 2 bootcamps. This is the first pitch day. We will have 2 bootcamps and another pitch day next year. And we are carrying out focus group. You were part of this, and many webinars and some design thinking workshops. But the community has also been established, and you are very welcome to be part of it. We will give you all the details later on, but we have not just the 25 startups that are part of the bootcamps, but also the other ones that participated to the selections. We have 200 and more members on Join Up. Again, you will be asked to join, and more than 1,200 in LinkedIn. So you can follow us. We will share all the content there, and you will be updating on anything. And one of the other most important things that we managed to do is to collaborate with other projects and European initiatives like this master course, the public buyers community, the public sector watch, and also others. So we will try to find more and create these synergies and build on for our community. So you participated today, the ones that are here, to the research part of this project that is giving us a theoretical perspective. We already carried out a few activities. There are more coming up. So if you want to be part of this exercise, please reach out. As Besiana was saying this morning, because we are growing and we need also your input, and this is also part of another activity that we are doing about mapping all the GovTech initiatives in Europe. On Join Up, you see here we have an interactive map, and we want to have more and more initiatives. So if you think that your own solution, your own reality can be mapped as a GovTech initiative, please, again, reach out and we will add it. Then, again, the bootcamps, now I will go a bit into the details of it. These are one of the most important activities. The objective, as mentioned, is to help these startups that work with the public sector or that want to work with the public sector to have more information, to understand better what are the challenges and also how to solve those challenges when working with the public sector. Our idea is also to bring together the stakeholders from the public sector community and the startups to make them meet, to make them understand each other. And this is one of these events that we want to organize to do this. We have different challenges, and each of the bootcamps address one of those challenges. It's organized in 5 weeks. Actually, the first one was 4 weeks, but we got the feedback from our startups to improve it and make it a bit longer. In fact, our project is a pilot project, and we are really collecting the feedback from the startups, but also the other stakeholders that we engaged to make it better, to improve our program. So the program addresses different challenges, like the first week is about it's hard to work with the government. So we try to give the perspective of what is the government, the public sector, how to work with it. Then we go to how to work with citizens, and here the Polimi contribution is really valuable because they provided the portfolio of citizen engagement tools, and this is going to be published. I will go into this at the end of our event. So helping them to understand and plan how to use these tools to improve the products. Then funding ways of funding opportunities, so also not just private but also public. And then finally, how to pitch. And today we will see if we manage to help them in doing that. So, yes? Okay. Too much? Okay. Sorry. So about the cohorts, we had 2 bootcamps. One focused on the Northern Europe and one on the South. You will learn more. But we had like around 50 applications. Then around half of them participated into the bootcamps. And we engaged with 11 countries. And in the bootcamps, you have different type of content. So you have masterclass, you have panels, and this engage many different experts, especially from the public sector sphere. So you see here some of the organizations that we engage with. I think that's all for me. Do we have Gudrun? Yeah, cool. I know that it was a fast description of the project, but if you want to have more information, me, Chiara, Giovanna, everybody is here, so you will have time to ask questions.
Okay, is it my turn? I do not get any feedback. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Great.
Okay.
I am emerging from the back of the darkness of the stage. Thank you for bearing with us for the introduction and for the technical difficulties. I want to highlight a brief quote that Robert Kennedy once said, and it's, "Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly." And I think this just means that the difficulties were a great prelude for our startup competition, which will be a showcase of solutions that are achieving great things both in society and around the world. So we're now kicking off with what you all have been waiting for, which is the GovTech Connect Startup Competition. Sarah was mentioning in the introduction, this is the grand finale for the first GovTech Connect bootcamps. The startups are excited, the team is equally excited, so we hope you are excited too. And we have spent the last couple of months working tirelessly to empower this group of innovators with the skills needed to navigate government collaborations, secure investments, co-design solutions with citizens, and raise essential funding for their ventures. And all of this is in itself a challenge. So now the time has come for you to hear from the most prominent digital startups that are transforming the public sector and accelerating the green transition both in Northern and in Southern Europe. And you won't be just listening to the pitches. Let me see if I can get to the next slide. If you could just go ahead. You won't be just listening to the pitches. You will also have the chance to help us choose the best innovator of both groups. So we are delighted to have a jury panel with us today that will listen to the pitches, ask questions, and assess the potential of the solutions as well as their novelty, feasibility, and team. But as the audience, you also have a say. The jury panel scoring will account for 75% of the total score, and the audience for 25%. So please scan this code to get the competition started. You can do it with your phone. Exactly. All right, so now picture the beautiful coast of the Baltic Sea, the Northern Lights, and travel with us all the way to Northern Europe to hear from the companies that are based in Denmark, Finland, Sweden, and more. The startups have been tackling challenges around achieving net zero and how to support the green transition of public services, specifically taking a look at open sustainability data, energy efficient buildings, and sustainable tourism. We can go to the next slide. When we take a look at open sustainability data, we ask the entrepreneurial community, how can we use technologies to promote transparency about sustainability outcomes in government projects? We were looking for new digital solutions that can help governments promote transparency about sustainability outcomes in government projects, from identifying suppliers to monitoring performance to reporting and benchmarking. When we asked them around energy efficiency, we were wondering how can we use technology to improve energy efficiency in public buildings specifically. We were looking for new and digital data solutions to make public buildings better performing, smarter, and more energy efficient. And lastly, when we were looking at how to innovate around sustainable tourism, we asked them how can we utilize technology to enhance sustainable tourism and reduce its environmental impact. And we looked for solutions around accelerating the shift to sustainable, responsible, but also smart tourism. We're delighted also to have here with us today a panel of experts that will help us assess the potential of all these startups. They're sitting in the front row and you'll be able to chat with them later. But we're really excited to welcome Ozzo Salvi, who's Second Secretary at the Finnish Embassy in Madrid, Bruno Dura, Senior Advisor from the Danish Embassy in Madrid as well, Darío García de Viedma, who's Associate Director at the Center of the for the Governance of Change, and former CDBeats Product Manager, which is a GovTech startup, so can relate and empathize a lot with the startups here today. And we also have Annick Janssens, who's Director of the Venture Lab and Venture Network at IE Business School. Thank you for being here with us today. We're excited to listen to your questions for the startups as well. We're going to start with the challenge number one. And these means that we're going to be taking a look at open sustainability data solutions. We have 5 companies that will be pitching here with us today. And I'd like to invite our first company up, and that is Climato, which is Eric Olsen, please, co-founder and head of growth at the company.
Thank you, Sophia, and hello, everyone. Today's food industry accounts for roughly 1/3 of global greenhouse gas emission, and this remains a significant challenge if we are to reach the UN sustainability goals for 2050. So I'm Eric Olsen, co-founder at Climato, and we help companies to measure their food-related environmental impact aligned with the ESRS E1 to 4. So our software solution doesn't stop at greenhouse gas emissions. We also look at land use represented in square meters, fresh water withdrawals, eutrophication, and soon also biodiversity. So how does it actually work? Users, they upload their procurement and recipe data onto our software or with API integrations. Then they can analyze their procurement and recipe data, allowing them to make more sustainable procurement decisions, but also climate-friendly menu planning. Then they can communicate carbon footprint and environmental impact on menus and product packages to influence people's choices, but also educating them on food's impact on the planet. And then lastly, they can report on their emissions month over month, year over year, making sure that they are on track to hit their net zero targets. Looking at two cases here from two different corporate canteens. So on the left here, you can see a menu with our labels, whereas 75% of guests at this canteen said that they considered the carbon footprint labels when they chose what to eat. And on the right, this is a canteen that we have been working with for 4 years, and in that time they have reduced their food-related emissions by 63%. Here's a snippet of our customers. So as you can see, it goes from high street restaurant chains, public institutions, large corporate caterers, and hotels. We are a team of 35 people, 11 nationalities in Stockholm, London, and Paris. We're helping more than 170 clients in 15 markets reduce environmental impact. And last year, more than 10 million meals was recorded with Climato, and the average reduction per serving was 23%. And this is a snapshot of our management team. Thank you very much. I'm ready to take your questions now.
So now our jury panel can pose a question if they have any.
First of all, congratulations on your company and your pitch, a really important problem to focus on. A problem that a lot of startups and companies, I think, are focusing on. So what does the competitive landscape look like, and how do you differentiate?
Thank you. There's probably around 8, 9 different direct competitors of ours right now, and somewhat 20 indirect competitors. So how we differentiate is that we are building our environmental databases from scratch, whereas others rely on open source data. So we are working on detailed LCA modeling, which means that we can work directly with primary producers and collect their data to allow them to have more accurate data and not rely on open source data and average data.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much for the pitch. I was interested in your business model. Like, how does it work? Is it like an annual subscription for the canteens, and yeah, because I'm looking at from the government side. I mean, that's always what we're thinking is the money. So how would you characterize that, like compared to your competition, or taking that into account?
So we are a software as a service company, so we charge anything from 100 euros per month up to 500 euros per month, depending on the package that they choose. So how that compares to our competition, well, everyone has undisclosed pricing, so not too sure. But we're getting a lot of traction, and as far as I'm concerned, we are the biggest company on the market, and we already work with all the larger hotel chains in the world, as well as the corporate facility management companies.
Thank you so much for the questions, and thank you so much, Eric. That's all from you. Let's give him a round of applause. And next up, we have our upcoming company, Chromaway. We have Salman Darius coming via Zoom. Welcome, Salman, and please do let us know when you want the slides to change. And welcome to Pitch Day.
Thank you so much. Actually, I can change the slides myself, but thank you so much, and very happy to be here. My name is Salman Darius, as I mentioned, and I'm here on behalf of Chromaway to pitch our new platform, the Relational Blockchain Nebula. You can switch slides, by the way. Yeah, to my screen. Thank you. So, RBN is a new relational blockchain ecosystem developed by Chromaway, powering next-generation decentralized applications. Our platform and dApps has been co-developed with the EU through the pre-commercial procurement in connection with EPSI, where the idea is to help public procurers and suppliers develop innovative solutions to societal challenges. Our blockchain ecosystem scales and empowers businesses, organizations, and citizens within the EU, enabling next-generation dApps that serve a public sector good. Currently developing our two flagship dApps, the DPP, which enables circular economies and the creation of digital product passports within supply chain management, enabling informed interactions between brands and consumers. The DPP use case is developed in collaboration with Chromaway's own fashion brand, Black Denim, to test logistics. And we also have IPR, which is an intellectual property rights marketplace that aims to enhance transparency in tracking ownership and management of various forms of intellectual property. It seeks to improve the management of rights-related data, facilitate better identification of rights owners, and provide tools for comprehensive research to facilitate the registration of new IP rights. We are also partnering up with DJP here to implement their IP assets within our platform to make it kickstart kind of the start of this development. The RBN vision is that we envision a future where accessibility and innovation is the norm, where entrepreneurs, organizations, and public actors have full control of their data and assets, and where collaboration and transparency are the foundations of a more equitable and just society, enabling a vibrant, interoperable ecosystem of blockchain-based services developed by EU companies for the benefit of EU citizens. And in today's interconnected world, many entities face challenges with conventional blockchain solutions, and these challenges often manifest in the form of slow user experience, poor performance, or not being able to scale to adopt a lot of users. Our solution and its unique combination of affordability, speed, scalability, and sustainability sets us apart from the competition, enabling users to take control of their data and assets, highlighting our architecture as secure in terms of business privacy. And as you can see here, we have successfully established in 29 countries within our infrastructure and our network. RBN is equipped to redefine how governments and businesses interact with blockchain technology, bridging trust and security, ensuring people genuinely benefit from innovation. We are seeking various types of investment and partnership opportunities to further develop our cutting-edge technology, but also further releasing new solutions that serve a public sector good. Contact us, follow us on socials. RBN Eco is our handle. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Any questions from the jury?
Good job for what you're doing at Chromaway. You said that one of your unique value propositions is scalability. Can you please tell us a bit more on why you are so scalable and how do you envision to grow and make your software grow as well?
Yeah, so scalability is always a very interesting topic, I guess, within this space. It's very hard to achieve sometimes, and specifically with blockchain, traditionally it's very hard. But basically, what comes down to our unique selling point is that with our relational framework, which utilizes databases and the relational databases, which we are infusing with blockchain technology, it enables us to, integrate with current existing enterprises much easier, because it's very familiar in the coding terms of SQL, which are, at the heart of enterprises and databases. But scalability isn't that easy of a question, and in terms of that, but we are looking into scaling with partners, looking for collaborations to see how we can further, grow together and find solutions.
Thank you so much, Salman. Pleasure to have you here with us today. We're on
Thank
to
you.
our next presentation. Founder and CEO at Open Hydro.
Thank you. Yes. Now picture this, a pristine reservoir, a lifeline and a source of energy, but also a hidden contributor to 20% of global emissions. I'm Cristina Diez, CEO and co-founder at Open Hydro, the leading platform to decarbonize freshwater systems. Because the operation of a reservoir can create large amounts of CO2 and methane. And assessing these emissions until now has been complex and expensive. Our customers, water and electric utilities, municipalities and governments, and their challenge, more than 1 gigaton of additional emissions that they will have to report according to upcoming regulations, which is increasing their climate mitigation cost and challenging their net zero targets. And that's where our solution comes in. Through AI and satellite technology, we've developed a groundbreaking solution that is not only assessing accurately emissions from water, but is a tangible business opportunity that is helping mitigate emissions, linking water quality to emissions reductions. And that is how we are projecting to reduce 20% of the equivalent of the fossil fuel emissions, improving water quality while reducing emissions. And we are positioned like no one else. Our competitors, for the most part, are focusing on the generalistic carbon accounting, but they lack the precision for water emissions. On the other spectrum, innovations that focus on water quality and water quantity risks lack the possibility to value water under the same standard across sectors and regions, and that's where we come in. We are positioned like no one else as the solution that can value water across sectors and regions. And beyond that, the opportunity of the increasing market on carbon accounting is providing us unique opportunities for scaling and exit. And at the core of all this, our management team. I've successfully led teams and worked with more than 150 companies in the water and energy sector. My co-founder, Maria, is the foremost expert in carbon accounting from water. And Dominic, our lead developer, brings the precision and innovation required. And we are not just dreaming big, we are making it happen. We are piloting our solution with top utilities, and we've proven a 40% reduction in time and cost. We've been supported and backed up by giants in the sector like AWS, and with 75% of our pre-seed round committed, we are ready to scale. Because we are projecting 50 million growth by 2030, expanding and tapping into $1 billion market. We are focusing now in water and electric utilities, but we've already gathered the interest from ministries, municipalities, and governments, making our solution much more interesting at a larger scale. Beyond this, our long-term vision expands and goes into high water consumption companies. So imagine every drop of water of their processes being assessed and valued in terms of their emissions. That's our vision, a sustainable future for all, one drop at a time. Because this is not just a successful opportunity for business, we are helping improve our sustainability And we are revolutionizing how we value water. Open Hydro, where every drop counts and every action matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the pitch. Extremely topical issue. Just one question from my part. I noticed that in your background info, you mentioned that you do not only provide essential data, but you also support clients in developing and monitoring action plans. Could you tell us more about that? How do you support with those action plans?
Sure. So I mentioned that we link water quality with emissions, and that's because most of these companies are already taking expensive actions to improve the water quality. And better water quality means also lower emissions. And until now, they don't have a solution to track that. So by doing that, we help them improve or find added benefits into those costly actions in terms of reduced emissions, and we help certify that, so helping them in their net zero targets. Beyond that, we have an added feature to look at other options to help reduce emissions, such as improvement in the sediment management, afforestation, etc.
Thank you so much, Cristina. Next up, we have Timothy, founder and CEO at Combined DAO.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for braving the weather. Thank you for taking the time. There we go. So like she said, I'm Timothy Tavares. I'm the founder and CEO of Combined DAO. I've been working with federal government, military, defense, intelligence, justice for all of my career. And I've seen a common theme of issues across them, common frustrations. It's why do I feel like I'm reinventing the wheel? Why is this taking so damn long? And it typically breaks down to how we do agreement, how we make something work between an agency, a sales order, procurement, whatever it is, it all breaks down. And that's because we have a system that's built to require that. If you're a procurer, you need to do the same things over and over again, integrate with the different systems. And it wastes money, it wastes time. You lack insight, you don't know what's going on a lot of the time. Maybe you have something useful in terms of software, maybe you don't. So our insight into this is that agreement itself is broken, it's flawed. And that's because we rely on something where action is not tied to the intent or intents and actions. So we have an agreement, a contract, just like you've written 1,000 times and you rely on to make laws, to manage, to govern. And we just add a couple different layers. We add data and logic to that, to take that agreement and give it life, to help it interact with the world, whether that's submitting an order, whether that's checking on metrics, whether that's helping you govern, and then interact with it. So through this, instead of having to integrate with these separate things, make it work together, it's just all there, encapsulated as a single piece of logic, which can submit an order, ship something for you, whatever you need it to. So our specific value here is the contract becomes truth. It's no longer a set of processes where you're not sure where something lives. It's contiguous. It's reduced costs because you get to eliminate middlemen and integrations and simply have it flow from a single location, your API. And it's open source, so you can control your data. We've worked hard to ensure that it's GDPR compliant, and we isolate data by region. So the data within the EU and the data within the US are safely stored. Let's keep going down. So this means we're end-to-end encrypted. We're data isolated, we're open source, you can look into it and customize it yourself, and we're GDPR compliant. So this has really two valuable use cases. The first is around procurement, where you can integrate fraud resistance, where you can track sustainability as it crosses a threshold. And then in federated AI and ML, you can take advantage of being able to manage those workloads wherever they are and integrate features that save money and time. So today, thank you again for being here. We're just looking for public partnerships. We're looking for those early adopters, and we're hoping that vendors out there in the community will want to become a first-class integration into this future paradigm of agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Timothy. Let's take one question from the jury panel.
Thank you and good job. So when you work in the field of agreements, I guess that you have two sides from it, right? So how are you trying to sell to those two sides that are reaching an agreement?
Right. Whatever the agreement is, they want it to be smooth, they want it quickly. So what we do is we're going to help provide that first, that template. Maybe that's just something to get them started on the procurement, on the onboarding, whatever it is, and then they can customize it to work with themselves. So both parties benefit. So we just need to find one that wants to play and then work with them. Thank you.
Any other pressing questions? We have 1 minute. Your pitch was pretty short, so that gives us a little bit of leverage.
Okay.
Thank you. Just a quick one. Because we're here today mainly are concentrating on sustainability, at least now in the Northern European section. Could you elaborate a bit more on the sustainability side of your solution and product? What good will it bring us?
Well, once we're able to tie an action directly to intent, we can start to associate calculations. So let's say your contract kicks off an action, an order, a process. We can track that through its life cycle and then tie it to some type of basic calculation, whether that's carbon emissions, whether that's working with Christina's solution at Open Hydro, or something else. So using that, we bring it all into a single location and thereby bring insight to it. Anything else?
I think that's all for now. Thank you so much, Timothy. Okay, next up we have Alexis, CTO at Measure and Change.
Thank you. Nice to see you all. Please. I'm Alexis, and I'm here today from Sweden to represent Measure and Change. And what do? Well, we automate the process of collecting data used to calculate, analyze, and present carbon emissions for local and regional governments. Next, please. The problems that we've identified. This is usually a manual and time-consuming task. Data is usually only collected at a comprehensive level once a year, usually because it being, well, manual and time-consuming. Data is often not very accurate. It consists of secondary data or is based on monetary amount or other proxies. So what's our solution? We collect primary data, like liters, kilowatt hours, and other specific units of measurement from customers' ERP systems. We then combine it with other sources to calculate accurate and reliable climate impact, which is then aggregated to a level that can be displayed on an interactive web dashboard. Next. Here is a technical overview of our setup. We collect electronic invoices and other data from the customer on a weekly basis. We scrape the invoices to find the relevant information. We then analyze, process, and summarize it before making it available to the government, as well as the public, if the customer so wishes. Next. These emissions from own operations are divided into correct emission type when processed, and separately we collect geo-based emission data from official sources where available. Next. Here you can see a screenshot of how the data is presented in our web client. It's hard to understand how it works from an image and in Swedish, but it's what we got right now, and at least we got some coloring. This is an overview of a local government with connected geodata. Next, and of course we also have a total included for filtering data on, a tool. For example, time period, sector, subsector, and emission type, where a sector could be a certain school and an emission type could be a specific type of fuel. We currently have 5 paying customers. Next, sorry. Furthermore, we have 1 pilot with a local authority, and here we have also provided a link to the test environment web dashboard for our customer. Next. These final points should convey the benefits of our solution. It's automatic. It's efficient and correct to the extent of the data provided to us. Customers can focus on acting. It's detailed, climate impact on cost unit level from primary data. It's continuous. Data every week enables efficient decrease of emissions. It's reliable, not like data collected by different or the same persons, which may vary in quality. Next, well, this is us, or at least the core. Our CEO, Sarah, is one with the knowledge when it comes to climate impact. I'm just the tech guy. Erika takes care of business, and furthermore, we have an advisory board and part-time sales and software developers. Next, calculation of carbon emissions is crucial for efficient decrease of emissions. Our innovation does this with care and detail. Next, we're looking for partners, investors, and pilots, mainly for expansion outside of Sweden. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Alexis. Any questions from the jury, please? Yes.
I'll speak very loudly. Thank you for space. I was wondering if you could expand on your experience without Sweden. How are you planning to do that and work?
Mostly by looking for countries with high integration of the e-invoices, since we already have structure in place for that. But do you mean in another regard?
Sorry?
Or in what regard?
No.
Any other questions?
So you give the information about the CO2 consumption of produce, but do you give any advice or idea on how to reduce?
Yes, we have a consultancy service for that.
All right, thank you. I think that's it. Thank you so much, Alexis. Okay, we're now changing category. We're taking a look at energy efficient buildings and how can we use technologies to improve the energy efficiency specifically in buildings that are managed by the public sector, which are usually many and very big. We have three companies that will be pitching today with solutions to these challenges. And I'd like to invite our first company to pitch, which will be Buildtrix, and we'll have Mojava join us virtually. Hi, Mojava, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yeah, just a moment time.
Are you ready to start?
Yes. Okay, perfect. Let's start. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Mojtaba. I'm CTO and co-founder at Buildtrix, and let's uncover abnormalities and energy-saving opportunities in cities using data analytics. Next, please. Let's start with a story, because everyone loves a story. Meet Patrick. He's the energy manager at Roma Capitale, municipality of Rome in Italy. Next. Here is the map of Rome, and the red dots on the map are buildings of Roma Capitale. And Patrick every day is responsible for handling a smart meter big data, prioritizing the energy efficiency action plans, increasing the renewable energy sources in these buildings, and reaching to the targets for the cost and decarbonization by 2030. Next. Roma Capitale has over 1,000 buildings and 6,700 smart meters. They have around 150 PV panels on the rooftop that together they generate more than 15 gigabytes of data per month. But still, Patrick don't know when, where, and how this energy is consumed, what devices and sources contribute to energy peaks, and how to reduce the energy consumptions. Next. Buildtrix provides an intelligent, affordable, and easy to integrate solution for cities. Next. We offer a digital platform for big data analysis that integrates, cleans, and blends the data sets. We create asset database and provide data-driven insights, including spatial reporting, benchmarking, forecasting, and uncovering renewable energy sources potentials in your buildings. Next, please. We offer several values to the cities. We save 80% of their times on multi-property analysis. We save between 5 to 20% of the energy cost and 10 to 30% of the carbon footprint in cities. Next, please. Until the Q1 of 2023, we were focusing on creating use cases around European cities like Rome and Toulon city, also in France, and Madame Park Institute in Almada in Portugal, and some private customers like Coop retail sector in Switzerland and EMPA also in Switzerland. But since the beginning of GovTech program, we are focusing on selling our product in the market of Portugal and Spain, let's say Iberia. And so far we could secure 350K of contract with cities like Cascais and Porto in Portugal, and some private customers like Best Travel and CTO, which are multi-properties in Portugal. And we are looking forward to raising 1 million euro of investment by the beginning of next year to expand in the European market. Next, please. We have a multidisciplinary team of business developers, data scientists, and data engineers. We are a small, let's say we are a young Portuguese startup, recognized by several European programs and initiatives and innovations, and the UK Department of Trade as one of the clean startups in the EU. And yeah, next, please. Yeah, thank you so much for your attention. You may subscribe for our demo using this QR code, and we're looking forward to work with you and make your cities clean. Yeah.
Very.
Thank you. So because you're a data scientist, how are you doing at predicting the cost of energy, and why is predicting the cost of energy important for your clients?
Let's say we have various sources of our expertise is mostly integrating different data sources, including the pricing of the energy in the market. We are doing this in the market of Portugal and Spain, together combined with the consumption data of our customers, the historical one. We are able to forecast how much they will be consuming and what would be the pricing through the time. So we are able to forecast the pricing, the cost of the energy. That would be really interesting for some of our customers, for instance, Porto, in order to prioritize the investment they need to do, for instance, integration of the PV plants, how much they need to invest, and what they will save after investment, and what would be the return on investment plan for their cities.
Thank you so much, Mojava. And thank you to the jury as well for the question. Next up, we have another exciting solution. We have Tom Sommers from Scenario Labs, who will be pitching just now.
I will be. Fantastic. Hi, I'm from Scenario Labs, and I'm here to talk to you about the future of sustainable real estate. So we address one of the major challenges in the built environment, which is that it is the greatest user of carbon and energy in the world. And unfortunately, about 80 or 90% of the buildings that we live, work, and play in, like the one we're in right now, are still going to be here in 2050 when most of us are committed to be net zero. As such, we can't build our way out of trouble. We're going to have to work with the buildings that we have today, and we're going to have to figure out how those fit into a net zero future. So here at Scenario Labs, we provide the links between value, risk, and ESG parameters for all buildings everywhere. So in terms of what that means, We collect all kinds of different data from different data sources, open data. We work with licensed data sources. We have machine learning to gap fill where data doesn't exist. And where occasionally clients have it, we use that too. And we use that to feed into various machine learning models in order to create analytics around the individual energy usage of buildings, right the way through to how to manage those buildings and how to increase the ability for organizations and cities to reach net zero. So what that looks like is we provide analysis on a building by building level, no matter the size of the portfolio, be that a couple of hundred buildings for a university or be that 100,000 buildings for a city. We are able to analyze using ISO standard models the energy demands and carbon intensity of every single building individually by modeling like an engineer does, but by doing it at massive scale. And we also are increasingly looking at climate resilience. So we look at ESG risks, we look at things like increasing flood risks, we look at transition risks, and we look at overheating risks. We are able to do that on geospatial levels to enable people to be able to visualize what that looks like for their portfolios, their cities, their regions, and indeed their countries. We are able to look at what that looks like at city scale. So we can look at individual types of buildings, we can break portfolios down in different ways and provide options for decarbonization and retrofit for all different kinds of buildings across entire cities. We are able to look at how much that's going to cost, importantly. Someone's going to have to pay for it. We can help figure out potential financing avenues and work with both private and public financing in order to figure out how best to fund decarbonization activity. We are able to fundamentally deliver a portfolio level tool, no matter the size of the portfolio, with individual building level accuracy. We work with all kinds of different organizations in the private and public sector in around the Nordics, the UK, Canada, Germany, and various parts of South and Eastern Europe as well. We are a team of a little over 30 people now across Finland and the UK. We were set up in Helsinki originally. We have 19 nationalities and rather more women than that picture infers. We have worked with Arup across the City of London in order to create a decarbonisation plan for the entire city. We've also recently completed West London, which is over 1 million buildings. We've worked with banks, including NLB in Slovenia, to look at net zero financing as well as compliance risk in accordance with European central banking regulations in Southeastern Europe. And finally, we have worked with the Finnish state in order to provide a tool for every single municipality across Finland to help them understand in much more detail the values of their buildings and how those can best be managed. So we help them establish things like rent levels as well as things like asset management plans for all of the municipally owned buildings within Finland. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to speak with you. I look forward to the questions.
Let's take a question from the jury.
Thanks for your pitch and congratulations. What I understand is it's more on the reporting and the analyzing. How do you help your clients with their implementation of I can imagine government buildings are very old. You established that then, and what's your role in the implementation and the costs related to that? Because everybody wants to do good, but are they putting the money where?
That's a really fabulous question. It's all well and good figuring out what we could do, but how we pay for it is a really core part of what we do. So the reason we're called Scenario Labs is we run different scenarios against each other and we create optimized plans. The K is because we're a startup and you need to misspell to get the website. But in terms of what we will do for a client in terms of the implementation is run lots of different decarbonisation pathways against each other. So we'll look at something, particularly for an older building, that might be less intrusive, particularly maybe for a protected or listed building, like fabric first windows, redoing energy systems, before we then might look at different opportunities like heat pumps, heat networks, maybe more intrusive kind of work to HVAC systems, that kind of thing. And so we can create individual models for each building within the portfolio to say, well, okay, which optimization route is going to be the best one for each building and what do they cost? So we link through to industry recognized cost books to give estimates of costs. So essentially, we're able to do that kind of what might be called stage zero work around the design and optioneering.
Thank you so much, Tom. I think that's all for now.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we have Peter, who's Chief Growth Officer at Storvex.
Hello. All right. We store more data than ever. I think everyone knows about that. The challenge today is that we store the data using quite old technology. That technology has a short life cycle and it consumes a lot of energy. And we believe that is not sustainable. From a public sector, we had a really nice segue into here from Gudrun, explaining the challenges and the transformation that the public sector is going into from a European perspective. We need to make sure that the data is safe and available, while it needs to be cost efficient and sustainable driven. And I think if you look upon the fact that Gudrun shared with us that all the medical records are going to be stored digitally in Europe by 2030, if we look upon the technology we use today, none of that technology comes from Europe. Either it's owned from the US or from Asia. That's a data sovereignty challenge and an ownership challenge, which is kind of interesting. And that's where we come in. We have developed a solution that is fully based on European technology. We're fully Europeanly owned, so that's a strength from ours. We work from both edge storage solutions into data centers on cloud solutions. And what we managed to do is that we built a platform using the latest technology and AI. And thanks to that, we have a modular setup, which means we can grow with the data over time. So we also can increase the life cycle of the actual storage unit or the product up to 8 to 10 years. Common solutions in the market today, they go from 3 to 5 years. And that's more like the white appliance market is working, and we don't. Yeah, I'll skip it. We don't think that's a sustainable way to go. So we want to take a longer ride.
They won't be able to hear you online. So
okay. I will try
should work if you keep it close to your...
Like this? So, hello?
Yes,
yeah, we're back.
Perfect.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost track a little bit here. What we also want to do here is that we want to make sure that we keep the data safe, so that we have a full data sovereignty, full GDPR compliant, and we're fully ransomware protected. If we look upon the CO2 impact over time, sorry, I lost track with the mic here. I'm getting back to it. Over the life cycle, we cut the CO2 emissions with 30% compared to competitors. We're also fully cyber secure, as I said, and ransomware protected. We have great traction. We're reaching good sales. We sell mainly through partners and distributors, and we're currently selling in Italy, Benelux, Nordics, and Asia. Sorry, Middle East. We are growing very good. We're finally getting to traction. We're into scale up. We're mainly selling today the hardware and licenses. We also sell subscription. We have storage as a service. We're focusing and we're growing on the subscription model. So this year we're going to reach a recurring revenue of 400k euros, and this year we're going to end up, we're tackling towards sales of €1.5 million euros. And in 2025 we're going to reach an ARR of 4 million euros. We are reaching cash flow positive numbers, so finally getting to black numbers by end of this year. And right now we are raising €1 million, mainly to grow within the software-only market, where we're disconnecting from the hardware and just supplying our software product. We are a true European team. We have 6 different European nations represented in the team. We have both senior and young talents in the team, and we continuously recruit actually using the EU frameworks. We're using Erasmus a lot, which is giving us a great strength of representing the full EU. We have a senior advisory board that is helping us on the tactical and the strategic decisions. This is really important on both the product development and the business development. And from our perspective, we have the capability in the technology, and we, together with you guys, can drive the sustainable transition.
Thank you so much, Peter. We can take one question.
Who goes first?
Thank you very much. I'm again looking at the background material, and I see here that you mentioned that you're the only European data storage provider that is fully GDPR compliant. I just wanted to ask, why is that? What are you doing that the others are not? Or how did you achieve that compared to your competitors?
Yeah, it's not like there's other data storage providers that are not GDPR compliant, because there are, but they are owned either from US or Asia, so that's the big challenge that we're going against. And also looking into, as I said, when the public sector is storing the data of people and individuals, and the data sovereignty challenge, that's where we have a strength, being the only currently data provider in this section that is supplying this data support. There are other startups and such that are coming from Europe, but they are bought by the big dragons all the time. And the big dragons are not owned or run in Europe. So that's the strength. Did you answer your question?
Great. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you.
All right, we're nearly there. We're going to be listening to the pitch of the last startup of a Northern European competition. And this startup will be around sustainable tourism. They're thinking around how to enhance sustainable tourism and reduce its environmental impact. So we're really happy to have next Katarina Frostad, who's co-founder, SEO, and partner at Clean Sea Solutions. She's coming via Zoom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Get the control. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my name is Katarina Frostad. I'm the co-founder of Clean Sea Solutions, a global impact company made to make autonomous and technical solutions to clean up marine litters. We focused on the harbors and the waterfront areas. Like here, our Aquapod, our first system, is the pattern system into a floating jetty that is already used in the harbors and the waterfront areas, with a big industrial pump making a current around and the waterfall to collect the waste into a bean bag down to 1 milliliter of plastic with a capacity of 600 liters. We also monitor and tracking the pollution we are taking. We are now installed a webcam to see what kind of plastic are we taking up, how much plastic, and how much impact are our customers having by using this solution. We already have installations in Norway and in the Netherlands, and we also have some needs into Spain and France and Italy. And we really are going for the European market for the next year. We already have our first customers that is quite the divide, everything from hotels till the government till private businesses. Our Aquapods is a passive collection. That's why we have our Aqua drone. That is autonomous drone, work a little bit like a robot vacuum cleaner on the surface, go and collect the waste and go and empty itself again. It's not just the ports and marinas, it's also like the hotels and business, and we see more and more of the business and people are living close to the waterfront areas. So the market is quite huge. We have a twin go-to-market strategy. We have our paying customers, but we also are looking for strategic partners like we have with our jetty builders, where we deliver our Aquapod, where they are selling jetties to the harbors. They deliver with our solutions. We also have with our clean drone that we are working together with the maritime robotics and also going into their market that can also divide with the cleaning drone. And also now with Hike, that is a Norwegian company making autonomous and electrical boats. So we will deliver, when they deliver their boats for the Summer Olympics in Paris in 2024, they integrated our Aquapod in the charging station. And this is what we see will be more and more in the market, that will be integrated in the infrastructure that are made for. We also deliver clean water as a service, like we do in Rotterdam City. They are renting our solutions, and we are delivering the whole way of cleaning it up, taking up the plastic, and what is going on with the plastic. Sorry for going back forward. We are quite a diverse team with different backgrounds that make a big strength into the way forward. We have for now just have funding and a research partner. We had 1.5 million euros in soft funding, and we are now looking into 1 million euros in investments. Thank you.
Karina? We can take one question from the jury.
Thank you so much for your pitch. I was wondering on, let's call it the hardware side, like all the boats or the collection, I don't know what to call it. Where are you producing that, and how does that factor into your scalability plan? Like how quickly can you expand with those kind of solutions?
So the aquaport we are producing in the Netherlands. It takes us 6 weeks to build it now. That's one thing that we want to achieve with the investment we are looking for now. It's to also be able to serially produce it faster, so also the cost is going down. The drone we are making with Maritime Robotics in Trondheim. So we that's quite short as well with that. But when we want to go out to the global markets, we also want to like sell our so it can be built in other countries. So we're not sending it from the Netherlands and over to, for example, the US or different parts of Europe.
Thank you so much, Katarina. And with this, we've made it to the end of the Northern European competition. A reminder that you're able to vote online for your favorite pitch. We'll be able to see some live results coming in now. Just remember, think about the feasibility of the company, how novel they are, their team, if that's something that struck you, and maybe the public impact, how well are they addressing these big challenges that we're facing in society nowadays, specifically Northern Europe, where net zero, it's a big topic. So we'll be soon sharing some of the live voting on the screen for you to see. We'll be reconvening with the jury at the end of the Southern European competition. And as I mentioned before, we'll be able to put together a total score that it's made up of 75% from the jury scoring and 25% from the audience voting. You can take this moment to rethink a little bit of all the things you've heard this morning. We'll be quickly jumping onto the Southern European competition, which is an exciting one. Definitely much more from the south. We'll be taking a look at some companies that are definitely closer to Madrid. So you have the code again on the screen in case you want to check that out again. We'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. And then this is a little bit of what has come in so far. It seems like Scenario Labs and Clean Sea Solutions are pretty popular. Oh, that's ramping up now. Okay. All right. There we go, Klimat as well. We'll be able to announce the results after the networking lunch. So you'll be seeing a little bit of that as well later.